Okay. What do you call yourself?
Big money.
And Big Money, where were you living before the Pacific Crest Trail?
Baltimore.
And what are you passionate about?
Ooh, that's a good question. I am passionate about. Ooh, that's hard. I guess hiking. I like hiking a lot. Animals. I'm a vegetarian. I think it's important. Yeah, I guess
Okay.
hiking and animals.
And what do you think? What are your thoughts on the PCT? Or could you share like maybe a story like from the PCT or anything?
Yeah, the PCT has been great. Um, Day 3 in the desert, it was really, really cold and rainy and awful, and we were trying to camp, and it was so windy, it was so hard to put up tents that 6 of us slept in a pit toilet, just like shoulder to feet, 6 deep, and it was pretty cozy.
Okay. And how did you end up here? Have you done a lot of hiking in the past, or did you just kind of feel like I don't know, or how did you end up here?
I hiked the Appalachian Trail, and while on the Appalachian Trail, a lot of my friends were like, "We're gonna do the PCT in 2019, PCT 2019," and so we just like committed to it, and then all of a sudden it was 2019, and I had a permit for the PCT.
Okay, cool. And if I may, what do you call yourself?
Hot take.
Hot Take. And Hot Take, where were you living before you were on the Pacific Crest Trail?
With my parents in Chicago.
Okay, cool. And what are you passionate about?
I'm passionate about equal rights and the fair treatment of everyone.
Okay. And what are your thoughts about the Pacific Crest Trail? And maybe you could share a story of some sort.
Yeah, I think it's one of the most wild things a person could do. On the second day, I was wearing 10 and a half size shoes, and my feet grew so much in the desert that I got these really, really, really terrible, terrible blisters on the bottom of my feet, like right where your arches are. And then I had to walk on that for 109 miles till we got to Warner Springs, and then I would switch to a size 12. So my feet grew a size and a half, and I'm still wearing 12s 1,000 miles later. So yeah, the beginning first 375 miles were literally hell. So
Okay. And how did you end up here? How did you end up on the PCT?
yeah, so I used to never like leaving the air conditioning. It used to be something that I didn't like to do,
Right.
and I didn't like to go outside. And then I went to college and I met a bunch of people who really loved going outside, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then they showed me about like backpacking and stuff, and I really enjoyed it. And then they showed me a couple environmental things that I didn't really know about, and I got pretty passionate about it. And then this girl from my high school did the trail in 2017, and I found her Instagram, and I woke up one morning and I said, why can't I do that? My senior year of college. And then I told my mom, and then, yeah, here I am.
Cool. And so, what do you call yourself?
Out here, I call myself Professor.
All right. And Professor, where were you living before the Pacific Crest Trail?
Before the PCT, I was living with my aunt and uncle in Huntsville, Alabama.
Okay. And what are you passionate about?
I'm passionate about learning and teaching. And I think the trail's a really good means to both of those.
Okay. Could you give an example?
Yeah, I think it's just like, I think we learn a lot when we struggle and go through adversity. And I think that happens like every day out here. And I think getting through that and figuring out how to adapt to those sorts of things, we learn a lot about ourselves and how those things play out. I think are really applicable to things in our lives outside of the trail.
Okay. And what do you think about the PCT, or could you share maybe a story?
Yeah, I think my highlight for me was on Hike Naked Day. We ran into this guy that works for Outside Magazine and asked us to take our clothes off and pose for Outside Magazine. So we did.
Wait, can you go into more detail? Like, so you just run into some guy on the trail, or,
Yeah.
or what do you mean?
Yeah, he said, hey, my name is Ian. I'm doing this article about Hike Naked Day. I'd love for you guys to pose naked for our magazine. We said, oh, cool. He's like, yeah, it's Outside Magazine. I'm like, oh, sweet, let's do that. So we did.
Okay.
So yeah, it didn't get in the magazine, but it's on one of their online posts.
Okay, I'll make sure to check
Yeah.
that out.
Yeah.
How did you end up? How'd you end up on the Pacific Crest Trail? You've done a lot of hiking before, or is this your first kind of long trail? Or
Yeah, so I went to school. My major was wilderness leadership, and then I moved to Washington State and worked at a camp there for 3 years. And then everything just kind of fell apart at the same time there. Like I was ready to move on from that job. And then I had a relationship that ended. I moved out of my house. Everything ended on like the exact same day. And so I decided, oh, I don't have any more responsibilities. I've got good savings. I'm gonna go hike the Appalachian Trail. So I did that last summer, and then I had such a good experience. I wanted to keep doing that because I found that I just had such a good experience and was learning so much about myself and about like this country and other people in this country that I felt like it was just another like season of education for me past college. So I decided I wanted to keep learning through doing more long trails. So did the AT and then decided, oh sweet, PCT's next. So here I am.
Right on. And
Yeah.
if I put. Okay, cool. What do you guys call yourselves?
Trail names?
I don't know. What do you call yourself?
Pill popper.
Pill popper. Okay, and
Mikolas,
Mikolas.
which is not a trail name.
Okay, and where were you guys living before the Pacific Crest Trail?
Chicago.
Yep.
Okay.
Same here.
Okay, cool. And what are you passionate about?
I love to paint.
Like
And
what kind
dance.
of? Yeah.
Yeah.
Painting and dancing. What kind of painting do you do?
I'd say it's like abstract, kind of psychedelic, very colorful.
Okay. How about you? What are you passionate about?
I'm passionate about video games.
Video games?
Yep.
Any game in particular that you're into like right now or a favorite?
My favorite right now is called League of Legends.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically any like online games.
Okay, cool. And what do you think about the PCT? And maybe you could share a story
It is very
about
challenging.
the PCT. Okay, very challenging.
Yeah, we experienced some near-death experiences.
Could you go into tell me about that?
We were like rock climbing and we almost fell off several times.
Where?
And this was on Mather Pass.
Okay.
It was like at the top. And it took us like 3 hours to get up. And then the most recent one was coming down Sonora Pass. Because we were coming down at like 4 in the morning and we didn't have ice axes or crampons. And we totally ate shit. We tried getting into the footpath and we just slipped because at that time it's just ice.
And this is literally like, maybe 2 miles before the highway exit.
Yeah.
And yeah, we both ended up falling probably like a total of 60 feet.
From like on that sketchy snow
On
part,
that-
like
yeah.
you fell before you got into the Glissade, you fell.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
he
like
hit
we fell down one part about 20 to 30 feet.
and he hit a bunch of rocks.
Hit a bunch of rocks.
Oh no.
And then after that, like trying to get off of that and trying to like get back onto the Glissade, we fell again. So that was probably another 20, 30 feet.
I thought he broke his legs.
Oh man, but were you bloody and stuff, or were you alright?
Yeah, he got
Yeah,
snowburned.
we got bloody, we got snowburn.
Okay, but you're still out here.
Yeah.
We're still out here.
Alright. And what brought you to the PCT? Like, have you guys done a lot of previous hiking, or just thought you'd
No,
come out and
not
go?
like this.
Okay.
No.
And then what inspired it, or?
My initial reason was I wanted to work through the patterns I was dealing with in my life. I've noticed my answers usually come through nature and through being alone. But he came out for the Sierra portion.
Okay.
I came out for her.
Yeah.
You came up for her.
I
Okay,
love
so this is
Because
more.
I thought I was gonna die. I was very scared.
Oh, really? So what?
And
It
even with
wasn't
me
even
here,
really.
even with me here, we almost died.
Right. And it wasn't even really planned. Like you were like,
No,
"Is
it
this
was-
scary? Please come out and help."
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then, really.
It was like mile marker like 700 or
Okay.
650, something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that.
Okay.